Hi everyone, and welcome back to another One More Chapter Book Club. I hope that your weeks are all going well wherever you are in the world, and most importantly, that you're all staying safe. Here in London, where I'm coming to you live from, it's a slightly dreary day, so that makes me even happier to have such a funny and heartwarming book to discuss with you all today, The First Date by Zara Stoneley. In case you don't know, Zara Stoneley is a USA Today best-selling author of many fantastic romcoms, including The Wedding Date and Bridesmaids. The First Date is her latest and was only released last Friday. And so I'm so excited that I'll be joined by Zara Stoneley herself to discuss all her fantastic books, and also Zara's editor, Charlotte Ledger. It's sure to be a very fun book club discussion, so please do comment and get involved and ask us lots of questions too, and also tag any family or friends that love a rom-com and will just enjoy our chat. And I think I should also mention, in case you can hear, that I'm having roadworks right outside my house right now, so if there's any sort of slight noise, then that's why. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that. But for now, please help me in welcoming Zara and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Hi guys!
Hi everyone!
Hi, how are you?
That's so annoying about your roadwork. Not really,
no.
but I'm annoyed on your behalf.
I don't know, is anyone else out there experiencing some roadworks at the moment? I've talked to a couple of other people that also are having like random digging up of the pavement outside their house, and it's just classic that it's happening when we all have to work from home and, you know, do amazing Facebook Lives. So but anyway, that's enough about that. How are you both?
Good, thanks. How are you, Sue?
Hi, fine, thanks. We haven't got any roadworks, but we might have Harry barking at random intervals.
Bring Harry, get Harry on, Harry on.
And little Harry is Sue's dog. Sue/Zara, we should say, everyone. So obviously, Sue, Zara is your pen name.
Yeah. Oh yes. Sorry, I forgot. Zara, Sue.
Are we ruining the mystery to all the readers?
I think quite a few people are friends with me on Facebook as Sue, as well as following me as Zara, aren't they? So,
what made you choose Zara?
Yeah.
It's such a great name.
I first picked it when I wanted a different name to write my erotic novels. And I didn't want to embarrass my son or anything else. I went with a different name. And I don't know why Zara. It was kind of, I wanted something a bit sexy, a bit different, you know, but not porn-star-ish.
Yeah. You didn't go for the name of your first pet and where you lived or whatever.
Well, yeah, the Stoneley bit. I was brought up in a place called Stone.
Oh really? Oh, I've been there.
Really?
I went to a wedding last September. It was really lovely. Stone's really lovely.
It was. It's really nice. Well, I lived in Walton, which is a small part of Stone, and it was really nice little village. We lived on the corner of this little estate with a farm up the road and a pond where
it's really pretty. Really pretty. Oh, now I can see it. Oh,
so
great.
That's where Stoneley came from. It was a stone. And then I think the word Lee is just a nice.
Yeah.
Just a nice extra, isn't it? And now you're Zara Stoneley.
And this was Charlotte's fault, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Because I do.
I had started to write romance with a different name. And I was going to sign up with you with that name, wasn't I? And you said you liked Zara, so.
I did, yes. I think it's because you were also going to start writing Bonkbusters.
Yeah, I did it first, didn't I? I did the erotic romances, and then we did Tiffany, which was more Bonkbuster. So,
but I think that like humour has always been there in your books, and now what I love about them is you've really kind of like focused on the rom-com and the the comedy that comes with it as well. So we haven't lost that since Bonkbusters.
I think you're right. I was thinking that the other day, that even when I started off with the straight erotic stuff, there was always a bit of comedy. There was always two things. There was nearly always a bit of comedy in there, funny things, because life is, isn't it? And pets. There was always dogs or horses.
Yeah.
Well, that's important. So yeah, in that sense, has it kind of been a bit of an evolution of your writing from that style of romance now.
It has, hasn't it? And Charlotte's helped me develop that, haven't you? A lot of it's been down to you in leading the right way. Well, it has.
Team effort.
The Tippemere books, you kind of said that, didn't you? You said, look, why don't you write something more Jilly Cooperish, more bombbuster? And I always, when I was growing up, loved those bombbusters. Like Jilly Cooper and Jackie Collins. And
they're so great, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's just naturally evolved, I think, hasn't it, to where we are now.
Where you are now, and now we just have a just released book, The First Date, which is
it's so good. It's so good. If you haven't read it yet, everyone, please read it because it's so much fun, and it's just perfect rom-com gold.
Exactly.
It's just good escapism at the moment as well, isn't it? It's kind of, well, I hope it's something that people can relate to because we've all kind of struggled with first dates. But
definitely. I have to say, I've never had someone as hot as Noah come up to me when I've been on a first date. There've been a few times I wish there had been, but it sadly didn't happen.
Been straight after him. I wouldn't.
You know.
But readers, tell us as well if how many of you out there have read it yet, or if you're about to read it, so we have a bit of a sense of our conversation.
Also, for any audiobook fans as well, I've actually been I guess not rereading it, but listening to it on audio because it is the narrator. She is just fantastic. She's amazing. I can't think what she's called off the top of my head, but she's just. Yeah, she's just done such a great job. It really brings the book to life. It really brings your humour to life. So if you are an audiobook fan, then this is absolutely one to listen to on audio as well.
Yeah,
because so good. And I've only heard those little clips that you've put up. I've not listened to the lot, but she was in Josh.
Oh, right.
Comedy thing because. When her first name came up, and as soon as I saw her in that, I thought, I bet she'd be really good. And she's brilliant, isn't she?
So good. She's just got the tone spot on, and she just nothing beats the voice, reading it and hearing the voices in your head in a non-crazy way. But she's really just brought the character. She is the character. And it made me feel like I was watching. It almost made me feel like I was watching a Bridget Jones or one of these Netflix rom-coms, and the audio is just that little bit closer.
And I think that's the thing with audio as well, especially for maybe romantic comedies. It does bring to life that voice, almost if you're listening to a comedy podcast or watching a rom-com, which is just so special, maybe more unique than some other books which don't need that voice as much.
So until we get that film deal, listen to the audiobook.
Yeah, listen. It's really is good. No, when I write these rom-coms, I always you've got rom-com movies in your head, and you can see it in the same way. And I think, like you say, she's got that's the closest, the audio, to actually come alive in it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're getting some really brilliant comments in the side here. Lots of people saying hello, hi everyone, and people are also having issues with people digging up on their streets.
We've got loads of comments.
And hello,
hi, everyone.
Hello to the US.
I want to say hi to Rachel as well, and I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling much better.
Thank you for arranging the tour, Rachel, because you're brilliant, and Rishi's still done such a brilliant job, even though she's been poorly, which I didn't expect you to. But hi, Rachel. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I think we've got lots of great people here now, so thank you so much for joining us. And we're already having a great chat here, but I think I have a great question that I think will start us off down the first date line of questioning, which I'll bring up onto the screen because I love doing this. Sue/Zara, please, can you tell us about your inspiration for the book? It's such a fun concept. I love it.
Well, it all started from a chat with Charlotte, didn't it, Charlotte? We were tossing over ideas, and this was kind of, we were tossing ideas about, and this was kind of the thing that really stuck, because it's the kind of thing everybody can relate to, I think. And it's also got so much comedy potential, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really does. We were just talking about kind of how people meet now, because I think both of us love the like boy meets girl stories, and you know, things have changed so much in dating like these days. Like, well, how do people meet now, and and it kind of just came from there, didn't it? And you just had this brilliant idea.
I think it's really difficult now today, because I know years ago my dad always used to say, because I've got two sisters, and if anybody wasn't going out with someone, he used to say, "Oh, it was much better in my day." He said, you could court people. He says, we used to go dancing, Harry. We used to go dancing and meet people that way. And he says, I don't know what you do nowadays. And I think, I've been chatting to some people who've read the book since as well, and I think in some ways it looks like it's easier now, doesn't it? You've got the internet, and it looks like it's easier to meet people. But it's so much easier for people to be nasty, isn't it? And not think about feelings and just
so you can hide away on the internet.
Yeah,
or like,
you can just ghost people, can't you?
I think as well there's something about so I'm definitely like an old-fashioned girl at heart. Like, I'd love to have been in those days where you had a dance card and you went to, like, I'd love it. But also the idea, like, now if you went to dance, like if you go dancing, you kind of like bop around awkwardly if you're like me. There's a load of people shuffling this is how I dance. There's a load of people shuffling from side to side. Like, then it was like proper dancing. And just think of like the chemistry you'd get from having to sort of touch, there's like touching involved, but also you're quite reserved at the same time. It's that whole kind of Jane Austen,
isn't it?
Yeah, I just think it makes it all a lot sexier.
For if it's going to work, if the chemistry's there or not. But at the same time,
exactly.
No, go away.
I mean, look at all the affairs on Strictly. There's obviously something in dancing.
I know. Honestly, I think we should bring back dancing, like learning how to dance at school.
Yeah.
I think that was a massive shame.
Oh, I'd love to be able to dance. Yeah.
It's a lot of petition, guys. We should petition the government.
What about us? Where do we go dance? I'd love to learn to dance. My biggest problem is I went and did salsa at uni, but because I'm quite tall, so I'm about 5'10", 5'9.5", all the men I have ever been dance classes are all like here, and then I always, for some reason, I just attract the shortest ones as well, and I think they sort of see it as. I remember this one guy just kept trying to tip me back, and I was like, I'm like double your size. This isn't gonna work. This is awful. I'm gonna fall over.
I've always had the opposite though, because I'm like 5'2". But I used to always attract men who were like 6 foot, and you kind of think this probably isn't fair because there's all these girls who are
like the smaller ones to like throw them around, don't they?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Powerful. Anyway, let us know, viewers, as well, if you're also, wish that you could learn to dance, and that's how we'd prefer your first date. I love that. Jackie Morrison's commented that my husband chose me at the school dance. He's been married 34 years.
Oh, Jackie, that's wonderful. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Proper dance. Tea dances.
Yeah.
And we can all wear 40s outfits and.
Well, you have an excuse to dress up as well, don't you? Then and be a bit glamorous, which I don't know. I think it's nice.
Yeah.
Not the same anymore, but so basically, with the inspiration for the first date was to explore these sorts of concepts.
How you meet people now.
Yeah.
And I do think it's difficult, and I think especially if some people just well, sometimes they're putting an act on, but some people can go out there, like be in the book and just chat anybody up. But other people find it really hard. And like with Rosie, we wanted to make it even harder for her in the book because she'd kind of been out, that she'd never really had to have a first date before because she met her boyfriend at school and it just progressed. And so she never really dated in the same way. So then to dive into this thing where you're on dating apps or have to walk up to people, so we just wanted to look at how difficult it was.
How difficult it was. Yeah, it's exactly. It's definitely very scary, isn't it? In some ways, I think like the concept of putting yourself out there to meet people when you haven't seen time.
I think as well. I mean, I met my first husband at work, and if you're in the type of job where there's like a good mix of people around your age or something, that might happen, mightn't it? But like my sister's a primary school teacher, well, it's not going to happen.
Publishing is definitely dominated by women.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's very hard. It's obviously good for the few men that are there, but it would be difficult.
Well, when I was at uni, I did computer science, so it's brilliant. There was 4 girls. I was one of 4 girls. All the rest were blokes. So yeah, it was nice.
Choose your uni course carefully.
Definitely. Well, I have a sort of similar. We've kind of just started to discuss it a little bit, but I'll bring up my next question onto the screen then, which is kind of how.
Harry.
Hello.
Hi, Harry.
First question, Charlotte. Do you have Betty there too? And I'll just.
Yes. So I'm really sorry if you've been hearing squeaking or I keep like jiggling around. It's because actually Betty's down here trying to play with her tennis ball. I'll see if I can get her up. Come on. Oh, can you hear her growling? She's ferocious. I'll angle the screen down so you can see. This is where is she? There she is. This is what Betty's doing at the moment.
Oh, she's so cute. So funny.
I know. She's not in the mood for coming up on my lap, I'm afraid, like Harry.
No.
He was barking at us before you got here, Charlotte. He was barking because if I laugh, he doesn't like being laughed at, and he takes it personally. If I'm laughing, he thinks I'm laughing at him, and he just goes off.
Oh, Harry!
He just wants all the attention, doesn't he? You know.
Come on,
that's just very sweet.
She's doing that terrier thing where she just won't let go of the tennis ball.
So funny. Does anyone else out there have any dogs at home?
Oh yes, share your dogs or cats or pets, hamsters. Claire, where's your hamster?
Your attention. I think that's what we're seeing here. But they're so cute. Can't help it. But yeah, I'll bring up my next question after that little interlude, which kind of what we were talking about. The book really explores dating in the current age and how difficult it can be to find meaningful connections when so much is online. Did you feel like that it was an important topic for you to explore right now? And in general, everyone, do we think it was easier pre-internet to find someone?
Yeah, I think it was. It was a good topic to explore in the book. I mean, as far as was it easier before, it's kind of, you can go either way, can't you? Because it's always kind of think, well, it's a lot easier now we've got the internet to find people because you do everything. But at the same time, it's the meaningful bit, isn't it? If you're face to face.
I guess in the past, there was probably less choice. Like I get because you would sort of be in your area and your community, and it would be who you went out and met. Whereas now you can like just be chatting to someone in Aberdeen or depending on how like your radius on these apps. You can meet anyone anywhere really.
Maybe sometimes it's like you're sort of over, and maybe that's still sort of a modern age issue where we're a bit overloaded by choice sometimes. That it can be, to make meaning.
I think as well it can be a bit crueler now because it's like with the internet in general, isn't it? But everybody can have their say, and they can disregard that there's actually a real person at the other end of the internet, and you do hurt it's easy to hurt people's feelings, isn't it? And just discard them, like on Tinder, swipe left, swipe right, ghost people.
Ghosting. Do you think would ghosting have been a thing in the past? I guess it would have been. I mean, it probably would have been easier actually, because
but like you said though, like you just said, a lot of it you tended to go out with people who were more local, didn't you? So if somebody did that, it was somebody you'd see the next day, or your family you'd know, or so.
I love the glint in your eye there, Sue. It's like you're planning your revenge. They can't escape.
They will be though, isn't it? It was probably harder to do because people would know what you've done.
I think there's definitely there's definitely like when you're not face to face with someone, if you're just messaging or like online, then I think some people don't have that sense of like being kind. You can say what you want and get away with it in a way. People I mean, this isn't just in dating, this is just in everyday life, like people on Twitter, like even down to reviews. Reviews are so mean, and you're like, God, would you say that to the author's face? Everybody, you don't have to love the book or product or whatever it is you're reviewing. But I wonder if you would phrase your review in that way if you were like directly speaking to the author, or would you maybe be a bit more diplomatic? I don't know.
Definitely. No, I think, and even just a little bit earlier, Cheryl commented that it can be much more judgy with a swipe someone because you're relegated to the bin based on Sunday, which is a good point. That's another
I found it hard as well. So I was on Tinder for a bit, and I found it really weird because I'd get messages from guys saying like, "Oh, hey, how's your day going?" And I'd be like, "I don't know who you are. Why would I tell you?" Like, it's such a weird, like literally just talking to a stranger for the first time. Like, it is a weird, like, I just found it really straight. I was rubbish at it. I wasn't very good.
Anyone out there, just it'd be interesting to know if you met anyone on internet dating that you have had a close connection with.
Hi, Harry. There are so many wonderful comments about how people met that are coming in, and I love this.
I know.
Emily, who we work with and also edited Sue's book. She's amazing. It was really funny. I can't believe you dumped him because his trousers are too short.
And on our first date, he wore trousers that were too short, so I dumped him. Fortunately, he bought new trousers, and I gave him another chance. I think it was very nice, Emily. I love that. And some other, I'm getting lots of comments. Colin, cute. I met my wife at a badminton club, so became friends.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
Lovely. I think that's a really good point, like, becoming friends before you start dating is also, obviously, you need to be, like, friendship is such a strong foundation. And I guess that's, with Noah and Rosie, that is kind of what happened.
Yeah. I think that's what we're exploring in the book, that when she meets Noah, it's not as a potential boyfriend, it's somebody who's helping her, so you can make a proper friendship out of that, and then if something else develops.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Another Kaylee Louise Brown. I met my partner at Palace Bingo. We both worked in the catering department.
Oh, amazing.
So cute.
Great.
I love it. I love all these comments. So I'll just move on to another question for Sue now, but everyone please comment away your questions too, but also keep telling us about how you met your partners or any other fun first date related things or any other online dating situations. We love hearing about them. But my question here is, how did you first start writing, and have you always written rom-coms? So we kind of explored this a little bit earlier, but it'd be great to hear a little bit more.
Well, I've always liked writing. Even when I was young at school, I've always written bits and bobs. I just didn't know you could do it and make money and make a career out of it. But yeah, when I was at school, I used to write, and when I was about 12 or 13, I subbed my first book, and I didn't know any of the rules. I just sent it off to a publisher, to Michael Joseph, because I read a lot of the books like this.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't appreciate it at the time because I was too young, but an editor actually replied and gave me a really nice, detailed reply of how I could improve my writing and to encourage me.
Oh, that's lovely.
I think that's what made me go back, when I was a bit older, and try again. But the first book I got published, it was somebody dared me to enter a competition to write erotic fiction. So you had to read the first 3 chapters. And I hadn't read or written any erotic fiction, but I read loads. I made myself read all this erotic fiction.
Style.
But I came second in that competition and got a publishing contract. And then I met Charlotte. And so we started off with 2 erotic romances, and then it all developed and gradually moved towards rom-com.
Yeah. How long has it been now?
The first one was 2013, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, 2013.
Harry, stop.
Yeah, amazing.
7 years.
Great.
I didn't know that about Michael Joseph though. That's a lovely story. You don't still have the letter, or?
I've looked everywhere. I don't know whether my mum might have it, but a few years ago I looked everywhere because I thought. But we moved house a few times, and I don't know if it lost.
No, of course.
But that was writing like a James Bond thriller type book. That's what I was mad about.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about writing any thrillers or any other sort of?
Yeah, I would quite like to write thriller. I still read quite a lot, but at the moment it's having time because I've got so many ideas for my films, and I do really enjoy writing. Harry, it's just
the dogs are playing up. Betty is in the middle of destroying my sofa. They're all playing up.
Harry,
sorry, everyone.
Sorry, everyone. We've got all the.
It's a bit chaotic.
But that's all right. We're having fun. I've got some other new comments here. Trish Hills, my fiance was my dad's boss and best friend. I knew him for 10 years before we got together 4 years ago.
Oh,
I didn't know that, Trish. Oh,
that's nice.
Oh, that's really lovely.
Yeah. Oh, and Rachel says, no, Zara, please stick to rom-coms. Too many authors are moving to the dark side. True.
I agree. I'm a rom-com girl at heart.
Yeah, there's a lot of rom-coms, isn't there?
Yeah. So I've got another question for you now, Sue, which is more like how you write question, which do you find easier writing, humor and laugh out loud moments, or scenes that will make readers cry? Because you've got a lot of both in your books.
That's a good one. Well, I like writing both. I think when scenes that will make readers cry, it's quite emotionally draining, I think, to write because you really have to put yourself in a situation where you can make yourself feel like that to write it realistically, I think. And actually, so it's really rewarding, I think, writing that side. But it's also probably more draining, whereas you get humour. I don't think I'm naturally a funny person in real life, but I like writing humour. So
I think funny.
It gives more of a lift writing humour than writing something.
Yeah.
I like a mix. I mean, that's life, isn't it? I think a lot of humour just comes from things you can relate to, but then you can things that make
both are so hot. But I think that I've heard anyway, I'm not a writer myself, but that humour can be so hard to write too, because I guess it's like trying to get that across on the page. So I think it's a real talent myself.
Yeah, do you feel that pressure to be funny? Like, how do you have to test jokes out on anybody else, or just yourself? If it makes you laugh, then?
No, I don't tend to. I'm quite a secretive writer, actually. Yeah. I always have been. I don't show anybody anything. So So actually, when I first got published, it was really hard to send things in for somebody else.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That must be one of the hardest things.
I know it works for a lot of people, sharing work and critiquing it. But yeah, I've never worked like that. So the funny bits, I don't. I suppose with a lot of the humour, it's based on things that have happened, even though it's a different scenario. So if it made people laugh or me laugh at the time, then I hope.
It kind of leads. Then it's asked a question here, which is kind of, do you do a lot of cafe eavesdropping then, or or in general, do you reuse?
Oh, I love listening to people. This and I mean, we live in Cheshire, and there are wine bars and a lot of wine bars and places like that. And some of the things you hear, people are just so funny when they've had a few drinks and they're trying to outdo each other. And so bits do find their way into the book, definitely. I've started writing things down. I'll say to my husband, I've just got to write that down. And it might not go in the next book, but eventually it'll appear.
I love that. Another question going back into the book specifically, which is more of a fun question, and everyone also let us know your thoughts on this, which is, who would you cast if the book was made into a film? Because I think it would just be such a brilliant rom-com on the screen. I think we can all agree on that. So who do we think would be our top actors?
Well, I think with Noah, there's actually a line in the book about the type of guy that Rosie likes, and it's Chris Hemsworth, Ryan Gosling. Mash up.
I am currently obsessed with Chris Hemsworth, so that's definitely who I had in my head when I was reading it.
With Chris Hemsworth, I mean,
I just watched his new film last night, and so hot. But definitely who I had in my head.
I think there's actors like that, isn't it, that are just funny as well. It's just they've just got that side to them.
You'd be perfect.
A bit. Yes, there's somebody like that. Rosie, I don't know. You know Kristen Bell out of The Good Place?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. I think she probably make a good Rosie. Or Amy Adams. She's done some psychological stuff, but she's done some humorous stuff as well. And she's quite, a bit like Rosie. I don't know. Have you got any ideas? Who do you think?
No, I like all of those ideas. I think they're some really good.
Anybody who's read it, if you've got any thoughts, let us know.
Yes, Chris Hemsworth says Jessica.
Yes.
Yeah, Jessica.
Who's going to bring him? Right, who's going to bring him?
I know. I think we better somehow try and contact him. I think we're all in agreement on Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, he's casted. That's it.
And then maybe I could be Rosie. I think I would be perfect. I can act. Really?
I think we've got this sorted.
I think it might be
I'm just imagining this now, Charlotte.
I know. I just think we'd make such a wonderful couple. It's so beautiful. I mean, I know he's married with gorgeous kids and everything, but we would look great. We would look great together. We definitely would. Yeah.
So, that's okay. Love that. I've got a nice comment here as well that I want to share from Lynn, which is saying that she met her husband online nearly 20 years ago. And celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary last weekend.
Oh, congratulations, Lynn.
Amazing. And that she lived in Yorkshire and he was in Norway when we met. And she moved to Norway with her 2 cats in 2000.
I would love to live in Norway.
That is such a that is a romance story. It really is.
It really is.
And that online as well. It would be really interesting to hear how did you just chatted online and just felt that instant connection, because I guess what we were saying earlier was that we thought there might it could be harder to find that sort of feeling of a meaningful connection online, but.
But then that is the thing, there are so many people who have and are married through apps and dating sites, and I think it's just finding what works for you.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a way.
Definitely. So now I've got I think I'll go for our discussion questions. I'll ask Sue this last question, which is a more author type question, which is, can you tell us what you're working on now?
Oh, can I tell them what I'm working on now?
Yes, I think you can, because it's so good. Such a good idea.
Yeah. Excited about this. Well, I'm excited about all of them, but yeah, it's well, it's only provisional title at the moment. It's about somebody who has this and dog sits, and it's so there is going to be a main character with a dog in it as well as.
Yay!
We are a bit dog obsessed, but that's fine.
Yeah, and it's about somebody who agrees to dog and house sit while the owner goes away. But somebody else is trying to nab the dog.
It's such a good. You make it sound like some sort of pet detective. There's a dog napper on the loose, and so, but like, it is honestly, it's going to be such a fun, like meet cute rom-com with a dog, and she's looking after the dog.
This dog from this,
and then a very sexy man. We should probably tell them a bit more, because the readers will be like, "What on earth is this?"
Not to say anything. We don't want to say too much. Yeah, it
sounds like
he's the ex of the girl who house owner and dog owner, and he tries to get his dog back in many hilarious ways that bring him closer to our lovely heroine.
He sees it as his dog, but the dog sitter doesn't know who to believe, really.
Yes, but it's very, it is about how it's kind of, I think what I love about your books as well, Sue, is it's like how everyone, you're going to get a happy ever after, and they're going to fall in love, because that's why you're reading it. That's why people read rom-coms. But we just have so much fun on the whole like journey of how they get together. So this is like
fun.
Yeah. This is definitely like how two people meet and fall in love. And there's a dog that helps them with that. And he's also can I say he's also ex Special Forces?
Oh,
he's very gorgeous.
Yes, he's very.
Yes.
And anybody in the Lake District.
Yeah, for all you SAS Who Dares Wins books, TV show even, you'll love it.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
She's out of the comfort zone, stuck in the Lake District, and it's his territory. And
lots of wily means of trying to take the dog, I'm sure. Which is Glynis has asked, so have you been dog with research too?
You can dog map Betty if you want. She's driving me mad at the moment. She's currently chewing my shoe.
Let me have another dog, and he doesn't want, so I might have to just say I've dog napped it, and it's just
I guess you're going to have to do some practice yourself, right?
You just found it. You just found the dog, or it followed you home. One of those.
That sounds amazing. I'm so excited for this book. Seriously.
It is going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? I think what we've talked about already. So yeah, I'm into that, and I'm having to research SAS and Special Forces. And
hard job.
I'm having to look at all these pictures.
Basically, he's going to be putting to use all of his training in order to get back this dog.
Get the dog back. But the heroine will outwit him until she discovers the truth.
Excited. It'll be great. Going back to so we've got some other questions which I'll read out now as well, before we move on to some of our more fun additional discussion questions. Which Valerie asks, would you want to write the screenplay for your books, or would you trust someone else to write them for you?
I think I'd have to trust someone else. It's not something I don't think I'd dare to do, try and write a screenplay. I think as well, I mean, I'd like to be able to check what somebody else wrote, but I don't think you always get that chance, do you?
I guess it would be a very different. It must be very different to actually writing a novel as well.
I think so. It's different skills, isn't it? I think it's something you have to learn how to do.
I guess with screenwriters, like the actors will do a lot of the like showing in their faces. You'll guess their emotions, whereas in a novel, you really like we can't see what they're thinking. So the author you have to really kind of delve into their internal thoughts and feelings.
Yeah.
So it is different skills. So
cool. And I've got another question from Valerie, which is going back to the new book, which is when do you plan to release it? Which I think is a good question. I'm wondering now.
Have you written it yet, Sue? Get writing. Crack the whip. Watch this space.
Watch this space, everyone. Yeah. So in the near, not too distant future, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. It's underway.
It's underway, everyone. I've got another comment here, which is going back to the dating side of things, which I think is lovely, or actually very meaningful connections online, is that not dating, but I met online my two best friends, Helen and Sarah.
That's
really lovely.
So
I've met loads of people online since being on Facebook. I've met some really nice people and made some really good friends. I
was just going to say, and we're all online together right now, guys, and we're all chatting.
Exactly.
And we're all, we're hanging out, and that's brilliant, isn't it? And I think that, I guess that's the thing, like, especially now too, everyone has to be online, and it's just kind of changing the nature of not just like dating relationships, but friendships too.
Yeah, I think it's great that you can meet. I mean, quite a few people I've met on Facebook, I've met up with then, and but I think when you make friends with girls as friends as well online, it's a more gradual, isn't it? It's not like sometimes when people try and meet a boyfriend, girlfriend online, they try to make it unnaturally quick, don't they? But this is like with friends, you can really develop a relationship and know what people are like then, don't we?
Yeah.
And you can be really good friends.
Definitely. Cool. Well, I've got some discussion questions that I hope that everyone will get involved in, because they'll be quite fun. Which our first question is a question for everyone, if you're up for sharing. What's your most memorable first date?
I haven't been on that many.
Now I've asked this question, I'm like,
my first date.
Good and bad.
I think we went to the cinema. It was that usual, like, you go to the cinema, but you take your friend with you. So it was me, him, and my friend.
How did it go?
Didn't go any further.
That was
more fun with my friend.
Fair enough. That sounds like a good end to the first date then. What about you two? Do you have a memorable first date?
Well, I had a memorable first date with someone. I think then I only had a couple of dates after that, because it was like a holiday romance, but it was when I was in Mallorca, when I was about, I wasn't that old, but yeah, it was somebody who was Spanish, and he took me up on his scooter up into the hills where a lot of the people he knew, they were having this big barbecue. So it was like in the middle of nowhere, and it was quite romantic, actually. It was away from where all the tourists would go, and barbecue and dancing and drinks. And
oh my god!
Oh, that sounds really good.
Really
so I need to say as a first date memory, because then I never saw him again.
I've actually, it's just made me remember, like, I can't believe I didn't think of this. This is definitely my most memorable first date. I was basically set up by my sister, and it was when I was in Edinburgh, and we went to this like really bonkers, like, I guess it was like a pop-up restaurant, but this was kind of before pop-up restaurants were like a thing, and it was this Armenian place in this old Armenian guy's house, and like the food was incredible, but he had all this like the whole place, you had to like knock on the door. It looked kind of abandoned from the outside. You had to knock on the door, and then when you went in, his whole place was filled with like old communist like memorabilia, and he was playing like the Russian anthem, like old communist Russian anthems and stuff, and it was just so bizarre. Anyway, the night, and I kind of had a few too many glasses of wine and ended up it's so embarrassing. I don't know, I'm telling everyone this. I ended up playing my like party piece was playing the Titanic theme tune on Cat Piano. Do you remember that app on the iPhones? Instead of a note, it's a meow. So I struck like meow, 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 like the Titanic theme tune. And it was so bonkers. That's probably my most memorable date. There you go. Didn't see him again, obviously.
Obviously.
No, well,
It's so true. Mel, what was yours?
Well, I guess it would probably. I mean, I guess mine's a good one, but it would probably be with who I'm with now.
Oh, lovely Seb.
Lovely Seb, yeah. We everyone meets Seb. But we just decided to meet for a drink after we basically I didn't respond to his message for a little while, and then I eventually got back in touch and then said we should go for a drink, and so we did, and it was just supposed to be a drink, but then we got on so well that we ended up going for dinner afterwards, and then for more drinks and jazz, and that was just a fun lovely
that was really nice.
I'm a lucky
a good date, good memorable first date,
memorable to me.
Yeah, no, really lovely.
Fun. So I've got a couple of comments here, though. Some of them I'm not too happy about. Well, Rachel said she was online dating and met a man. He looked nothing like his picture. Looked like my 90-plus-year-old great-grandpa. Seemed upset that I wouldn't even kiss him at the end of the evening. And then I had an email the next day, which was a huge character assassination.
Oh, Rachel. I hope you sent him one back.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the another scare with online dating is the whole like catfishing thing. When if you're talking to someone and then they just are not who they say they are. So it can be very scary as well, can't it? But yeah. Well, we've got another
not
one.
Not cool. Well,
Well,
Rachel, you've now got your own back because you've just outed him on here. So
exactly. We know
if he ends up watching this, we know what you did.
Exactly. We've got another one here.
Sounded really threatening.
I went on a first date set up by a friend, blind date, and the guy's first comment was, "Well, I normally just date models and fit birds, but a person said you were clever and I need to change what I'm going for. So you're clever and not pretty. So let's see how this goes."
Emma, who is that? Name and shame. Name and shame him. That is disgraceful.
Or something.
Who does he think he is? Yeah, Kaylee says, I hope you slapped him.
Yeah.
Drink to him. That would have been.
But there is also this thing about there was that book. We all were reading it at uni called The Rules, and I think it was written by, or there's something that was written by a guy, like dating advice, and he basically says to the guys, like, you have to make women like kind of a bit unsure of themselves at first. It's like this horrible book. So you'll go and meet a girl and the first thing you'll say to her is like, "Oh, I really like your shoes. They look really comfortable." As it like a backhanded compliment. So then the woman's like, what do you mean? And then apparently
just undermine them, and then
so maybe that's what he was trying to do, Emma. But that's just that's just such a dick move.
Yeah, I mean, he just sounds horrible. So we deserve so much better. So for him. Got another comment here from Cheryl says her first date with her second husband got into a Golf GTI in which he had installed 2 racing car seats in the front with racing car seatbelts. They fasten over the head and between the legs. That sounds exciting. But we have been together for 17 years. Well,
oh, it obviously works.
Racing car. Cool.
And there we go.
Cool first date. Then Emma, she's responded back saying, I waited for him to go to the toilet and just left. Never saw her again. I was so embarrassed and didn't date for a long time.
No.
That's horrible.
Thankfully, my husband didn't agree. Well,
that's horrible. But yeah, look where you are now.
Yeah.
And just think about what's happened to him. He's probably very sad and lonely and bitter.
Yeah, it's been horrible to people.
Yeah, definitely.
So rude. It makes me so angry.
Me too. I just don't. People feel like they can treat other people like that.
Yeah.
Nasty. Well, hope everyone else out there has had. I mean, I guess that's the thing with first dates. They can be really good sometimes, and they can be really awful. So. I hope that everyone has had a mix of both, probably, but has overall had some good ones too. That's the thing. But so my next, my penultimate discussion question for all of us is this one, which is I love this review from one of your readers, the novel equivalent of binge watching a TV series. And my question is, why do we all love rom-coms so much?
For me, it's kind of because it's so relatable, and they are things that you can laugh at, because there's that great what you recognise in there, isn't there? And as well as that, it is escapism, because you know it's going to have a happy ending and you're rooting for the characters. So I love watching rom-coms and reading.
Yeah, me too. Absolute binge. I can't agree with that review more. It really is like binge watching something on Netflix, reading your books.
Yeah.
I don't know, why do we all love rom-com so much? I think Sue's totally right. It is about escapism, and it's just, I think you get that real high and that feeling of reading about two people like falling in love. You sort of remember those moments where you get butterflies, and that's such a lovely feeling to have. And it's amazing that books and TV and films can recreate that for you.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think that's like we've got the comment here, Bettina says it's relatable, and the HPA or happily ever after. So it's kind of like saying you know that there's going to be a happily ever after, but it's all about, you know, how it kind of gets there. And there are a lot of like ups and downs along the way. With the rom-com specifically, there's a lot of funny moments, which that's just life, but you know that it will be happy in the end. And she says it's lovely to get that warm feeling too.
Yeah.
And Cheryl says, because they're feel-good books and viewers can relate to them. Just lovely. Yeah. I just love a rom-com.
Wish I had a Chris Hemsworth in real life. That's the escapist art. Sorry, Liam. Sorry. Do you know what the funniest thing is Liam is like as different to Chris Hemsworth as you can get, because he's not tall, blonde, Australian. And he's awesome.
Well, my last question to all of us is the one that I always end on for our wonderful book clubs, which is, finally, what would you say about the book when pressing it into someone else's hands? That is.
Just kind of what we said. Like this is like watching When Harry Met Sally, or you know, all those other great rom-coms. You'll get the same feeling reading one of Sue's books. It'll make you laugh, and it'll make you swoon a little bit, and you'll feel happy when you finish it.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to laugh and smile, read this book.
Yeah.
That is what I'd say.
Great.
Yeah, and Tina says, I like falling in love with the characters. That's really nice part of it. Yeah, and another comment from Cheryl, the best part of rom-coms are the moments you just laugh out loud, regardless of where you are.
Yes, yeah, that's good.
That's really good point.
I think one of the funniest reviews I had, I think it was for wedding day, and somebody said that they laughed so much they nearly wet themselves, and I thought,
yes, I think that will be it then. Like, read it and you'll laugh so much you nearly wet yourself. There you go.
There we go. We found our sentence. I just like finding a sentence at the end that just sums it up.
And at least at the moment you won't be out in public.
Safe. Safe, guys. We've got another. I'll just read out a couple more before we end, which is here. Read it, you won't regret it. The best remedy for a crappy day. Then read all of her others.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks so much.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, well, amazing. Well, that's all my questions for now, and I think we've just had a wonderful discussion. So
we have. I could talk for hours. I want to hear more about people's first dates.
No. Yeah, please, let us know more about your first dates, or maybe post after this on you can, this is going to stay there, so please keep continuing to comment, and we will comment back about your first dates, or also how you met any of your loved ones now. We just love to hear it, and it's just so much fun to just chat with you all and catch up like this whilst we are in some strange times.
Yeah, and the first date is out now. Yeah, and it is the perfect read for lockdown, because it just makes you escape for a little bit and forget what's going on and laugh and smile, and it's just brilliant. And Sue, you've done an amazing job.
Yeah,
such a good book.
So yeah,
and if you like this audible books, this really.
Oh yes, yeah.
That has it
on audio.
Listen to some of the extracts we shared, because it is just it will really make you laugh out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, everyone.
Zara /Sue and Charlotte, and then I will say goodbye to all of you. But I'll say goodbye to them for now. So bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining our book club today. It was such a fun discussion, and I'm just smiling so much now, and I feel so much happier. So thank you. It was just the pick-me-up that I really needed, so I hope that you felt that too. And for now, I'm going to tell you about our next book club, which is going to actually be next Thursday, so a week away right now. And I'm really excited about this one, as we're going to be joined all the way from Australia, I know, by Sandy Barker, author of the holiday romance series, One Summer in Santorini and That Night in Paris. So that if you love rom-coms like we've been discussing, these are two also really great, hilarious rom-coms that will keep you smiling. And especially because we might not be able to travel far right now, but I've always been a massive fan of armchair travel myself anyway, so you can imagine you're in sunny Santorini or having a fun night in Paris, whatever you prefer, both maybe. But it will be a little bit earlier at 12:30 p.m. in the UK, 9:30 p.m. in Sydney, Australia, because we have to make it work for Sandy, and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope that's okay for all our US fans out there. Thank you so much for joining us. But so in the meantime, I hope you have a lovely weekend and rest of your week next week. And I look forward to chatting with you then. But bye for now. Thank you so much.